The name is Bulelwa from the School of Economics under the management of Professor Eita. He is here. That's his surname. That's not the name. Eita. His name is Jua. He's here. So thank you, Masina, for joining us. So now I was fine until I saw my other senior from the force. Now I am panicking. They told me that they're coming. His driver was calling me, but I thought because they get busy abruptly, I thought, nah, they won't make it. So what happens in the force when your senior is in front of you, you gotta do some things and stuff. So I don't know what am I gonna do here and how do I address you without saluting you and you're in uniform and I'm not. So it's gonna be a bit hectic for me. So if I mess up here and there, please forgive me, Chief. Thank you. We welcome you here. And then okay, so since it's August and we are celebrating women, I don't feel worthy as a woman that has done so much in this lifetime to be celebrated. I'm not downplaying whatever it is that I do. You'll understand why I'm saying this. In 1956, we've got women that created a dent in our political environment. That is when they protested that we should stop using the Donbasses. It was inhumane, and they won, and men were not there. And we are not here to undermine the role of men in our lives. It's just that it's August. That is number one. Number two, why don't I feel worthy? We were told that we should go to school as women so that we can be able to stand up for ourselves. We did that. But you look outside, you look at the youngsters. Are we the role models as women? Let alone our men. I'm an advocate for that. Are we the role models? Have I changed anything by being an academic? Are there any young girls who look up to me? I'm still yet to find out. But we've got women in other spaces. I looked at a whole lot of other sectors, and then I arrived at a hurdle. We've got 17 SDG goals, which are brought down to us by the United Nations, and each and every country, what it will do, it will come up with its national development plan. Coming with the national development plan, what should happen? Now the national development plan says, this is what we envisage in South Africa, this is what we're going to do. Good. So in economics, under local economic development, we go on to say, okay, how do we assist our communities to be able to stand up for themselves? There's so many businesses we can talk about. We can talk about spaza shops, we can talk about any other business, but we don't talk about the business or the death care or the business of human remains management, which is very strange. And I understand why we don't talk about it, because the SDGs that we follow, they say nothing about the death care. We talk about birth, we talk about health, we talk about decent cities, we talk about decent work, we talk about inequality, but what is the eventuality? The eventuality is death. And who takes care of that? Now, I will take you back to the state of our health system. Do you think our government is out there when there are issues to bury in South Africa for South Africans? You will say yes or no, I will hear from you. I'm here to tell you that we've got a community that does that. That does that, and it's a tough environment. That is why we are here. That is why we are here today. So allow me to welcome everyone. I would like to thank the UJ Library for hosting us. I would like to thank all the speakers, the ladies that are sitting in front of us. We've got an international speaker, Laura, who's also in the death care. She is the fourth speaker. So speakers, I know there's so much to say, but we've got 15 minutes. I'll tell you why. We are given this space because after us, there's another group that's coming. So I wish we could do this the whole day. We'll have a conference one day, which is what we are working on with Laura and the group internationally. So you'll have time to really express yourselves. But here you are invited so that you can give us a snippet of what you go through on a daily basis. So I welcome you, and then the international guest speakers, internationally, and the group that I'm working with, it's in Georgia, it's in the UK, and I think America. There are different departments. And then I would like to thank my senior from the South African Defence Force. I'm not going to bore people about what you guys do, but when I was co-opted in the army, when the generals were presenting, one presentation that touched me, it's when they go out in the field, when there is a fight, when women have to stand with men and fight and carry the bodies. So even there's an aspect of human remains management, and it's not only assigned to men, it's assigned to women also. I'd like to thank my director, Prof. Eita, and my colleagues. And the guys that I work with that are assisting me with research, and allow me to mention Prof. Mabube from DFC, from Health Sciences. She's my mentor, she's much younger than me. Whenever I call her and say, Prof, I'm thinking of talking to the undertakers and I don't to them, but I think I want to say this, she'll just listen and say, go ahead, see what they say, and come back, let's discuss it. She believes in what I do. I'm trying to figure out why. So why am I in this space as a researcher in the School of Economics? I'm going to try and be short. The undertakers did not want me. They wanted nothing to do with me because they did not understand what I want from them. I spoke to the municipality. The municipality said we've got no business with you. Go to the undertakers. So why I'm telling you this, in this space, as disarray as it may seem, if you don't follow the ethical rigor when you want to speak to them, you may get into trouble. These are not the participants whereby you can just take information and do as you wish. They have to confirm it, because should you say something that they don't believe in, or your own inferences, something that they did not say, you will pay. You will have to answer. So talking to them, you must make sure that your ethics is in order. You must make sure that they understand what you want to do. And you must not lie to them and say, okay, after this, this is what is going to happen. Tell them the truth, that I'm just a researcher. I'm trying to tell a story about your domain. There is nothing much I can do. If we are lucky, the policymakers will listen. They prefer the truth. So when I started my research in 2018, it was hard. 2018, I couldn't get any data because I was waiting for ethical clearance from the National Department of Health. 2019, then 2020, I started in Mpumalanga. I'm the member there of the Human Remains Forum in Mpumalanga. I started collecting data in Mpumalanga, then in Johannesburg. So I've been talking to undertakers, but what is my interest on this? If I'm in local economic development and we talk about businesses, why are we excluding this one? It's important. And the government cannot do the work that they do, and that is the fact. So what is it that they do really? They remove trauma in societies. If there's anyone who doesn't agree with me, it's fine. You can raise your hand. I'll give you a scenario. Here's one family where there is no one who's employed there, which is a normal occurrence in South Africa. And the granny dies. And the granny is left with grandchildren. The mothers, the bulelas of this world are somewhere there, or they are no longer. And if the granny does not wake up at 2 a.m. and the kids are awake, what are they supposed to do? Are they going to call an established, well, a registered or a known business to come and assist? No. Somewhere around the corner, Mr. Bembe has got an emerging undertaker. He will come and pick up regardless of knowing whether there is money or not. By so doing, he has removed the trauma, don't you think?
Yes.
And he removes the trauma from the younger generation. The SDGs is talking about saying, let's make sure that we hand over a decent legacy. They remove the trauma. They bury, they do everything, and we don't say anything about them. So I'm saying something about them. So over the years, since 2018, I've been interrogating, there is no literature. I've been mining data, I've been talking to them. Sometimes they're angry with me, they don't know what I want from them because they've got stress. And sometimes they say, it's okay, you can come, what do you want? So I've done research in the Eastern Cape, I've done research in Mpumalanga, I've done research here in Gauteng, and I will be looking at other provinces, provided there is money. So there is a bit of research that I've done, a few papers that I've written. And then what is the intention of these papers? It saddens me when I check my papers to see that who is viewing them. I don't mind, anyone can view them, but the policymakers really, I'm trying to find out if they are interested. I hope one day they will be interested, but my hope is your kids, when they're in my shoes, they will have a stepping stone in the form of literature that has been created already, that is there, don't you think? Okay, so what is it that they do? They remove trauma in the households, and mostly the trauma in the household is experienced by women. And they're in the space of human remains management. They also remove the trauma. Now think for yourself, you are a woman, you've got your own challenges because you've got challenges. You've got to manage your home. There's a home that has got a deceased family member. You've got to help them manage whatever it is that they need to do, the burial, the preparation. Sometimes there's no money, sometimes there's no payment from the insurance. They do assist. They go as far as allowing you to pay afterwards. There's an arrangement, they will do that for you. Which business can do that for you except for the others where you can get clothing and all that? Here we're talking about a deceased family member that a woman will be called at 2 a.m. There are those videos. A woman will be called at 2 a.m. to go and remove the trauma. She gets into the car alone. She removes the trauma alone. She goes into a mortuary alone. She opens the tray. She puts in the body alone. What more do we need to say about the role of women in this lifetime? There isn't much, really. It's there. And I'm sure my senior from the South African Defence Force can tell us more stories. We just don't have the time, General. So, because this is not about me, it's about women, so I must finish quickly. Oh, there we go again, I'm sorry. Okay, so what is their role in this sector? They lead. I don't want to mention names and undermine the sector and select certain names of bigger businesses, because we don't want to create division in this space. However, there are names that we can count that the businesses are led by women and they're doing so well. The gender landscape. This industry is largely dominated by men, but we've got women. We can count them, but they're doing well. They are doing well. Imagine as a woman, you've got to wake up at 2 a.m., you go and collect the body, you put it into a freezer, you go back and sleep, you wake up at 5, you've got to make sure that your grandkids or your kids are at school. You've got to be so normal. So they are community anchors. I remember when there was burial at home in 2014, I was going to be teaching, it was recess. So I had called the students that they should come. So I couldn't cancel the classes, it was revision. The lady that buried at home was chasing me in the lecture halls to sign this, to sign that, to sign that, on my behalf. I did not go to Home Affairs to queue. I did not do anything, everything came. All they would do is to say, we are outside waiting for you, can you please come out, leave the class and come and sign and do. They do it for me. And then, hey, do you have someone to bring the car for you? No, they said, okay, we've got someone. As the body arrives, the car arrived. They say, do you have Have you arranged for your groceries? Okay, we'll do the groceries for you. Ours was to cry and make sure that everything is in order. So where do we place these women in our economy? So now you would see how the sector is how it looks currently. We've got big established businesses that are few there that cannot service the poor communities. We've got a large number of the emerging businesses, and they've been emerging forever, that are servicing the poor. So as a country that is trying to deal with inequality, what do we do with this space? What do we do with this industry? In 2020, believe you me, we were sitting at home. Was it 2020 COVID? Yes. We were sitting at home trying to be clean and all that, not to catch COVID. They were in the forefront, burying our loved ones, taking the risks. In 2021, when there were floods in KZN, please do not think that our government could have the capacity to bury. They were looking for the bodies on behalf of the families, and they would bury for the families. So I'm not sure, I don't have the powers, I wish I did. You would be my favorite in all my agendas. I'm not sure when is our government going to do this, going to pay attention to this industry. I am not sure. And if they are listening, if they believe that I'm saying they don't, yes, I've got proof. I've spoken to one of the mayors in 2020 during COVID, and the only thing they could contribute was a lowering device and some minor things and PPEs. That's all they could do. And you guys wanted more than that. But what I'm advocating for, and I wish someone could be listening in higher powers, it's bulk storage. So that we can deal with issues of non-compliance. Yes. It's difficult to start this business starting from scratch. The issue is compliance. So if our government can assist in bulk storage and see if they cannot manage themselves, because they are bearing for us, what proof do we need? Yes, there are differences everywhere. Even in our space, there are differences. In their space, there are differences. And elsewhere, there are differences. And even in the South African Defence Force, there are differences. We will not always see eye to eye. But if our government can come to the fore and say, here's bulk storage, then what should happen? I'm going to stop there. But what I would like to say is I'm not going to stop trying on your behalf. I'm working, there's a lady, captain of the industry here. I won't mention a name, and I won't tell you exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to see as to why is it that you've got issues with underwriting. And are we going to change the status quo? I'm not going to lie to you and say we're going to change it, but we'll give you information and say, this is what we are finding. And if we are lucky, someone says, okay, assist them, then we would as a university. That's what we are good at. And then lastly, I'm in my element. This is my element. The undertakers are my element, and I feel a bit emotional. I wish I could do more for you, but unfortunately we can't. But all I can say is, coming from where I'm coming from, you guys, your role that you play, no one can play it. Yes. No one can play it. And especially women, we appreciate you. You give birth, after that you bury. How is that? You think about the 9 months, you think about the years you've raised someone, and then you think about putting someone's child in a fridge. It's something else. I think I'm done. I will tell you about the developments as we go. We are planning with the international group to have a conference. We're still working on it. We're looking for money. You're going to be the spotlight. It's not going to be us. We will write the papers. I will give my boss what he needs. But the spotlight is about you. When we talk about social impact, which is our strategic goal here, it can't be about me. It can't be about 5 papers that I've produced. The 5 papers must be there. However, what have I done? What have I done? What is the impact? When you leave here, I know you're going to leave with nothing except for those few gifts, but I want you to know that you are important. You see me as Prof. Mapela. I'm nothing without you, because who's going to take me? Thank you so much. So I would like to introduce the first speaker. Sisbon, I know sometimes you call me to order. I'm going to call you to order this time around. So it's going to be 15 minutes because we want the audience to be able to engage with us, and the ones that are online, they should be able to engage with us. Yeah. So it's going to be 15 minutes. I will introduce you. I met Sisbongi when I was invited to come and present with SACU. They wanted to know, what are you talking about when you talk about local economic development? I remember when I was wearing a black shirt, I remember, and some running shoes because I was in a hurry. So I explained to them what local economic development is. So that's how I got to know about Sisbongi. So they got the gist of what I was trying to say. So ever since we've been in talking terms with Sisbongi, the other ladies, I'm meeting them today, but the rapport is warm and it's welcoming. So I welcome you, ladies. And Laura online, we welcome you as our second speaker. Sisbongi is running her own funeral parlor. She's been in this space for 22 years. There is nothing that I'm going to say about you. You've been in this space for 22 years. I know nothing. You know better than me. So the floor is yours, Sisbongi. Let's welcome Sisbongi. You must be comfortable. What do you need? Okay. If you want water.
No, I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, esteemed faculty, honored guests, and distinguished attendees. Let me begin by saying thank you so much for having me today. When I received the call inviting me to be the guest speaker, I must admit, my first reaction was, are you sure you have the right person? But here I am, deeply honored and absolutely thrilled to be sharing this moment with you today. Today, I'm not going to speak as a CEO. I'm here as a fellow traveler on the journey of life. Someone who has walked through the seasons of uncertainty, transformation and growth, and just like many of you. Each one of us carries a unique story. My journey has been anything but linear. It's been shaped by change, often unexpected, sometimes painful, but always meaningful. The setbacks I faced revealed to me that I had something that I wasn't aware of, which is resilience and the capacity for reinvention. What life has taught me, and what I hope to leave with you today is change is not something to fear. It is an opportunity for growth. As we continue on our personal and professional paths, I encourage you to reflect on your own journeys, the victories, and just as importantly, the failures. Each moment has contributed to the person that you're becoming. And along the way, nurture relationships. No one achieves success alone. Never burn bridges. Collaboration, support, and community are vital. Above all, never stop dreaming. Let your imagination take you beyond the imagination. Be bold in your ambitions and pursue your passion, even when the odds seem stacked against you. As we celebrate Women's Month, we pause to honor the strength, the courage, and grace of women across all walks of life, especially those in the funeral profession. To be a woman in this field is to carry the weight of others' sorrow, often setting aside your own. Too often, their work takes place quietly behind the scenes. But make no mistake, their quietness is not invisibility. These women are pioneers, not because of they seek recognition, but because of they show up every day, in one of the most emotionally demanding professions. They are funeral directors, hearse drivers, grief counselors, administrators, and pillar of strength in the moment of deep loss. In an industry once dominated by men, women have not only found their place, they've redefined it. They bring empathy where there is emptiness, grace where there is sorrow, strength where there is silence. So today we don't just acknowledge their presence, we celebrate it. To every woman who has held a grieving mother's hand, who has stood beside a casket, who has driven a hearse, who has answered a call at 2 a.m. We see you, we thank you, we honor you. The unsung heroines. Happy Women's Month. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was deep. She said to me yesterday, Uspongile, she said, you know, Blela, we are not fine. We are not fine because we deal with a lot of issues and a lot of trauma. I said to her, I'm not sure if I'm fine myself. But she said, no, we are from the morgue right now. We are from the mortuary right now. Then I withdrew everything that I was saying. To them, seeing, it's rude to say dead people, to seeing human remains, it's, I don't know how you do it, but even the space, the offices, and then if behind there is a mortuary, we don't work with such. Already you are thinking, you're cringing, oh, am I going to see you guys? It's normal, we just get in there and do your thing. And with all my qualifications, I cannot measure to you guys. I can't. And I respect you for that. Allow me to introduce our next speaker, Oraisibe. Laura, please hang tight to the third one. My senior from the South African Defence Force is touched. She would like to say something. Yes. Would you like to say it now, ma'am, General, or maybe after the ladies have spoken? After. Thank you. Oraisibe just said to me she's a director of Vulani Holdings. That is all. Okay. The floor is yours, ma'am. Thank you.
Good morning or good afternoon, people. Yes, my name is Raisibe Polankosi, a rural girl. It's what Emma Plasing, the Holy Zegodi Plasing. And then I feel honored to be here. Yeah, when I get called as well, I was a bit shocked. But when they say, yeah, they're going UJ, I said, I'm present. Because I felt that maybe we will be here today of what we're going through. I'm a director, yes, of Fulani Funerals. It's actually a holding company that has got construction, whatever. I'm actually a man and a woman. I don't like these things that it's like catering and whatever. I'm doing that. But I like to challenge Buntate. I'm one person who like to challenge all the men because I've thought our mothers went through hell. So now it's about our time to show them that we are, God. So I started this funeral industry in 2016. And then why I started it, I was angry when I started it. Because what I've realized is that when the people are crying at the funeral, it's not because they cry because of somebody died. They cry because of the send-off. Yeah. That is why they cry. So looking at Bontate, they are there for money. So whatever business that you need to do, you need to love your business. You need to know what you're doing. Don't just make business because of money. Think about everybody. So if you get into business, you must put all the boundaries together. The time, the emotions, the client, the family, and lastly, discipline. If you're not disciplined, obviously you're not gonna go anywhere, and your business is not gonna last because of you are there for money, grab and go. I'm there for good. And then when I started my business, I told myself one thing: this business, the funeral industry, there's no rich and there's no poor because the grave is the same, 6 feet. Whether you go there, ka chopper, or you go there, ka ditonki or whatever, we all going 6 feet or a committee. So that is the thing of the motto of me opening the funeral parlor. I was in construction. I worked only for roads and transport, and then I was doing all the. I can tell you anything about the roads. I know everything about the roads, but from the road to funeral parlor, you can see the difference there. So what took me there, it was because of, I also tried to understand, no matter why people are crying like that, why is it happening like that? Only to find that, no. You know the send off. Have you seen the coffin? Nene, the coffin broke. Nene, our funeral parlors are always in a hurry. I get it like here, more in the urban areas, who busy. Well, I understand that they just drop and go. They don't care. Baba said they will see what they're gonna do. And then I said to myself, you know what? I want to be there from start to finish. I want to give that family, I want to make them to feel that they are not alone. That is what I'm doing. Not coming to my mortuary, you won't get out there crying. No, if you cry, then I'm gonna ask myself, no, I didn't do things right. You come there crying, you go out there smiling. That is what I'm doing. And you know what, now I don't know if you guys have realized, there's no better place than get the funeral place.
Yes.
Quiet.
Yes.
Very quiet. You say, you know, I'm with one of my employees here who's driving me. Actually, this is the guy who pushed me to open the funeral parlor. If I'm angry, if I'm upset, I just go to the showroom. My showroom is there and my mortuary is there. Then I will sit there. No one is going to ask me, why are you here for? No one is going to say me, no. It's quiet, and then you can apply your mind clearly. If you go there, if maybe you had to pay whatever, your mind is clear, you're going to do things correctly. That is how I feel. I feel about my the funeral parlor. And then the professor asked about the underwriting. We are not against the underwriting. Let me tell you.
Yeah, against. I said we are.
Oh, okay. Okay, we are not against the underwriting. We want to underwrite, but the problem is with the underwriting, with FSCA, with the PA, with the treasurer, they take us not as business people, they're taking us as the agent. Yeah. So we are the one who goes out there to go and look for the clients, and even at the grave moment, the people are coming to us. They won't go to a PA or FSCA or whatever. No, the problem is the people has got agreement with us. So if you're gonna tell them the underwriter didn't pay, they don't even know what are you talking about. You're gonna make them to grieve more. So sometimes they don't understand what are we going through. So we want them to take us as business people, not as agent. We are not the agent. The client belongs to me. Let it be my client. It shouldn't be their client. Now what the underwriter are doing is that as soon as you underwrite, the clients belongs to them. So you are no longer nothing. And then by the time you put a claim, they can pay the claim whenever, after 3 weeks or after a year, of which the people wants to bury. So you must make a plan and make sure that the job is done. That is the problem that we're having with the underwriting. So as Bomama, it's difficult to run a funeral parlor sometimes because of your phone must be 24 hours on. And the other thing is that as soon as you finish, you've got husband and kids. You need to look to make sure that the kids are going to school, everything are done. You satisfy your family. You must make sure that the family, you're running the family as a mother, forgetting about the business. That means when you get out of your workplace, getting to the house, you are no longer a business person. You are a mother, you are a wife, you are everything. So Abo Baba is gonna sit there. Same car. He's gonna read the newspaper. You go to the stove. After finishing, you go and bath the kids. After bathing the fish, you go and open the bed for him. We are everything. So it's a bit difficult about it. But what I wanna say to you, the people, is that respect the funeral parlors that are run by women. Remember, when when are you going to be there for each and every step? Make sure. I started in 2016. In 2017, my father died. And you know what happened is that every morning I was just going to check if ever my father will wake up. Every day I went to check. And you know what, my family was crying, but you know what, when I look at my father was at peace. And then they used to make me angry. Why are you crying? Because my father is at peace. He was very nice, quietly sleeping. And that is when I started learning that, you know what, we need to teach our client to accept or whatever that is happening there. It's there. So for us running this thing, it's like you start with the client, and there is problems whereby the client, sometimes there is no money, there is nothing that you can do. Okay, you're gonna do the funeral, but they will sign whatever and say we will pay. After that, they say no, go and dig him out. We're not gonna pay you. That's it. Job is done. It's done. There's nothing that you can do. As a mother, you will say, okay, it's fine. God will pay me. You go to our municipality and our government doesn't care.
Yeah.
As soon as you try to open a funeral parlor, they are on top of you. They will look for whatever that they don't have. You go to all the private hospitals, there's no mortuary at the private hospital, there's no fridge. So if you run a funeral parlor, you must know that anyone who died at private hospital, whether it's 1 a.m., 3 a.m., you must wake up and go and remove that body. They don't allow most of us to rent, like what way. I don't know from when we be preaching about the bulk storage. But everything that they're using is rented. So if you rent, it's an issue with them. They want funeral parlors to have their own things. But the car they're driving, they rented. The building that they are in, they rented. Most of the things that the government is doing, it's rented. But we, as funeral parlors, if you're doing that, you need to produce, I don't know how many documents to show that you are a legit funeral parlor. But Bona themselves, they don't comply. We, as funeral parlors, most of the women funeral parlors are complying 100%, that I'm sure of. And what we're preaching every day when we're having the meeting with the government, and of which they don't even care about that, is that we are complying, but what about you? The worst thing that they're doing is that you can buy, let's say, a plot or whatever, of which is out of town, there's no okay or checkers or whatever thing. And then you try to do the funeral parlor there, the mortuary there. They come and tell you you must zone the place. And zoning the place, you get an engineer, 75,000 rand. You got a traffic study, 100,000 rand. You got everything, it's money on your own place. You bought the thing, but they're gonna make things difficult for you.
Yeah.
Coming as a woman, coming as a woman is worse. I'm at the plot. I think I've already paid over 200,000 just to get the thing zoned, because of now they're giving us the temporary COC. But why? There's nothing that it's a private owned place. We're using our own borehole, whatever. Nothing actually that the government is offering us. But you need to zone that and pay the same government that it's not going to help you with anything and making things more difficult for you. So UJ, help us on that one and tell us what should we do, because of each and everyone that is here today. Your end place is with us. All of you. I will not the one who closes my aeroplane or whatever. No, you're gonna go to the fridge. I'm gonna do all the arrangements, and then I'm gonna bury you or cremate you. So the government is giving us hard time. FSC is giving us hard time. Insurance is triple, but we're still standing.
Yeah.
And with us, the most important thing is that you won't come crying and say, Mama, I don't have anything to bury my beloved, and I will say, go to Bembe. No, I'm going to handle that. Whether money, whether what, I'm going to handle that from start to finish. That's how a mother is. That is how we're running our business. So I will say in this month, Yabo Mama, I'm going to plead to the bosses here, the professors, the whoever, that please, whatever that we're crying, we're enjoying our business. Now I'm enjoying my business. And I'm disciplined with my business. I'm enjoying it like nobody's business. When you come to my office, you don't get to say, the Mashari sitting there and nothing. And if I may tell you, I was walking 30 kilometers to go to school. So you can imagine what for me, 30 kilometers barefooted, without shoes, without anything. And today here I am. I'm standing as a woman. So nothing stopped me to say, you walking 30 kilometers, you don't have shoes. My mother was not working, my father was blind for the rest of his life. But today, I'm a proud woman that is running a business. And I'm not calling myself a businesswoman. I'm calling myself the mother, because of I'm looking after the child when she was born up until Emmanuel. Yeah. So there's no one who can do that. So that is how the woman in this month of the women. Thank you very much for inviting us. And then I think you did take note. You go to FSCA, PA, Treasury, and then in the municipality and whatever, and said, you know what, you can tell them what Umama Raisibe wa Vulani Holdings said. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Raisibe. Thank you so much. Because I'm gonna come back some other time and knock. I don't want to be chased away because you guys don't play. I don't have time for researchers who come and do funny business. You want the truth. So I would like to clear the air. We are not saying you don't want anything. We are saying we understand, but there's a challenge right now. Thank you so much again for your presentation. I hope you will give me a weekend week so that I can drive the house, because I want to be stronger. I like when my boss is here, if it's weekend, it's fine. Prof, it's just 2 hours, just driving to the cemetery and bringing the car back. It's not much. So I'll be driving and the person will be behind, so it's okay. So I like what you said, and it's my slogan. You know, in this lifetime, you think you're smart as a human being, not knowing that Raisibe is gonna take you into the fridge. Can you walk proper and be kind to human beings? Because you're gonna die. You're gonna be buried. You're not special. But what we can do when we are still alive, walking on our 2 feet, is to be supportive and understand each other. No one is better than anyone else in this lifetime. Even number one is not better, because Raisibe is gonna bury number one. So if you think we are better in any way, being Prof. Mapela with your PhD, whilst Raisibe maybe having standard 5 and he's gonna bury me and he's gonna wash my body, who do I think I am? Shame. Shame. And it's a shame, because we are supposed to. You see, during 86, when the boys were burning the tires and all that, and we were running, we go to school sometimes, we don't go sometimes, it's nice. They said, we're not going to school. There was something that was said. They said, there's going to be a unbanning of the political parties. And the message was, go to school and prepare generations to come so that you can unpack. Are we unpacking? Wow. Interesting. Well, I try. I'm not speaking for myself. I believe in local economic development, and not because there's local economic development in UJ, because I am a living person in local economic development. When I drive to my house, I pass women who are selling. It's raining and no one has bought anything. Which discipline do I need to really teach me about what local economic development is? And you can't do local economic development sitting in your office. You've got to go and see the morgue. When you want to write about the morgue. When you want to write about Amapara, the street kids, you've got to be in their vicinity and understand them. When you want to write about Amapiano, you must be able to do the kwara and say, I understand. The beat has changed now. Then I'm writing about Amapiano. What I'm trying to say is we need each other. What makes us think we are better than each other when there are people who are going to bury us? Wow. Well, my tombstone won't be returned, Prof. Mapela, I can tell you that. I don't know if it's going to be safe because Amapara will come and vandalize it. Yeah. It's normal. It's a normal occurrence. But for now, whilst I'm still on my 2 feet, I try and practice kindness too. The guys I work with, they can tell you, sometimes they get frustrated. You don't delegate. I would say, do we have an appointment? I've got nothing to delegate. I did give you something that you are supposed to do. Have you done it? If they give it to me, I leave them alone until the next time because I don't want them to feel like they are non-entities because I am Prof. Mapela. We've got to get over it at some point. We've got to get over these high horses. Well, I have a boss that does not have issues like that. When I was burying my mom last year, he was there. They were singing, and I was sitting there. I think he was not understanding what they were singing about, but he was there waiting to talk to me. So that is the kind of humanity we are talking about. And the issue in South Africa of corruption, I wonder if people do know what they are planting for their kids. I wonder how their kids are going to die really in this lifetime. So I'm not going to get into that. It's not about corruption. So our next speaker it's Laura from, I know, where's my phone? Sorry. I've got to introduce Laura. Otherwise, I'll be in trouble. Just give me a second. Laura, are you there? Laura?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, thank you so much. We can see you. Oh, lovely to see you, Laura. Hello, my sister.
Hello, my darling. Thank
Yes.
you so much for having me here.
Laura has been trained to become an end-of-life guard. I did publish something on the end-of-life services. It's where she looks after those that are undergoing bereavement. She helps people to accept whatever it is that they're undergoing, as Raisibe has stated. So she has got her own organization now. Sorry, Laura, I'm startling. I'm too excited and emotional. She's got her own federation now. It's called the Federation of African and Caribbean Funeral Operatives. So she's gonna take us through what she does. Weekly, we have meetings with Laura and the group because we are trying to understand what does death mean in the developing countries and what does death mean in developed countries? And as Africans, do we have the same voice? Laura, the floor is yours, Sisi. You can take it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my sister. Okay, so I understand, I overstand, I understand. I have 15 minutes. Let's see what I can do. As our darling Luelwa has explained, I am Laura D Pusey. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. It's a dream being fulfilled that we come here together and that we speak on topics around dying, death, and grief. Within the public sphere, I provide non-medical end-of-life care, funeral assistance from arranging to directing, and I'm a grief and loss consultant. I dare say I'm an academic, a published author, a radio talk show presenter, an educator, and a clinical hypnotherapist. When I first saw the title of this conference, I wondered, what do I know about human remains? I decided to let it lay until one morning I woke up with human remains on my mind. My first conscious journey into this work started with human remains. From childhood, death has been a significant feature in my life. And when I was around 10 years old, my dad's favourite cousin, Gussie, came to visit us for the weekend. When he finished eating on Sunday morning, he made his grand exit. He went to the car and had a massive heart attack, and he died right there outside our house, despite efforts from my mum and passers-by to save him. I remember asking, where had he gone? What was he doing? And what's going to happen next? The explanation that I gave was, it was not good. It was enough to shut me up at that time. The deaths continued in my life, and I was revisited in 2004 when my favourite little cousin died at the age of 20. When I told my dad Curtis had died, he was jolted and he simply said, Laura, death is part of life. And then just 2 months after, my own father died at the age of 52. Once again, those questions came up. Where is he? What's happening to his body? What does he look like? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? By 2015, I knew death. So when my aunt died, I was on hand to support in every possible way. In 2016, when my mother died, I was to learn the sting of death all over again. But this time, I embraced it, and I went on to train with white companies to become a death doula, which means slave in Greek, a funeral celebrant as well. Alas, my face didn't fit in these spaces, and I encountered rejection based on the colour of my skin. Yeah. I then realised that I had never encountered a black funeral director. I had never come across a black florist or a black funeral celebrant. And yet, as black people of the diaspora within the Western world, we bury. Our funerals are massive. We spend real money on death, and we take it very seriously. We know that this is a graduation, it's an inheritance, it's an uplift, and yet we're giving it away. I wondered how many people who look like me find themselves in this same situation within deaf spaces. We are the oldest people on this planet, and the white ways of practice are not working for us. We are closely connected to the Most High. So we need to remember that there is a way to die. There are ways to dispose, and there are ways to grieve. We of the diaspora seem to have forgotten. We're doing it the white way, but is it the right way? Was it because of the event of slavery that we lost our way? And were our brothers and sisters on the continent equally affected by colonialism? Or are they still in alignment with the original methods of death, disposal, and grief? As members of the diaspora, I said we should be going home to relearn the authentic rites and rituals associated with laying our bodies aside. And as a woman tasked to lead, what am I supposed to do within this space? As if on autopilot, I wrote 2 books in 2020, My Life's Tapestry, there, and Tapestries of Grief. I also created FACFO and DIPism. FACFO is the Federation of African and Caribbean Funeral Operatives, and DIPism is Death in Practice. I set about looking for people up and down the country who look like me and are doing the work that I am doing. What can I say? There is a preparation that is needed when we are approaching a death transition. Who is helping us? Who is creating that space? As a woman, I felt the need to do that, to step into that work. And on doing so, I found that we have no idea what death is or how to approach it. It seems, in truth, that we don't even realize that we are alive until we are nearing the end or someone that we love dearly is snatched away from us. As Black people in general, regardless of where we are coming from, we seem to fear death on levels stronger than any other set of people. Why is that? Why do we fear death and dying? And why are we unable to speak about our grief openly and clearly without fear? We don't seem to want to engage with it. We seem to shun meaningful discussions about the nature of death in our families, in our friendship circles, in our community places, our workspaces, and in our churches. But death is universal, and so too is grief. I want you to consider this fact. If we are not dying properly, particularly as Black people, then are we living properly as Black people? Because if we were, we would be dying intentionally, remembering our true origins and knowing that death is inevitable. We wouldn't so much be dying at the hands of another or in ways that could have been avoided or are seen to be premature. And through that introspection, I've gathered that if we are spiritual beings, then the disposal of our bodies could be linked to our coming in. And perhaps how we come into this life is linked to our exit. Okay. The Akan verb, Sankofa, urges us to go back and get it. Sankofa encourages learning from past experiences, both positive and negative, to inform present actions and future endeavors, representing the reclamation of lost knowledge and the reconnection with our true cultural identity. We are all valuable members of a vast and beautiful tapestry. We all have the information within us to create, recreate, restore, rebuild our lives, our provinces, and our land. However, from where I stand, it all starts and finishes with how we view death and the disposal of our bodies. From the governments that seek to govern us, down to the individual families, individuals, ourselves, there is an urgent need for a reawakening, a reconstruction of the processes that appear to be lost. When I was contacted by Nhanka Bembe from our ancestrally created sister organization, SAKU, I realized that I was on the right track, that my brothers and sisters in South Africa were of the same thought and mind. I was aware of the 3-day strike and the implications on the rest of the country if the needs of the funeral directors were not met and I stood with my brothers and sisters. Both Fakfo and Saku are in agreement that an overhaul of funeral procedure from top to bottom is necessary. It's a necessary move forward towards a future, a positive future for those of the global majority. We've discussed methods that are used in various ways that we can identify and unify and create training that's necessary for both sides of the continent and for those home and abroad who lose a loved one. When we scratch below the surface, there is so much work to be done, and only a very few are doing it. I am proud to be a woman who stands within that number, because there is a deeply ingrained Western fear that is insidiously creeping in and erasing our cultures, our traditions, our languages, and our beliefs around this natural transition. And death is a natural transition. It's a doorway to a new existence that is largely viewed with disdain and hesitation. However, as our sisters have explained, this is a door that we are all going to enter, and those we love will enter it too. Now, I don't have that much longer, so I'm going to speed up. And I'm just going to ask you to stop and think for a hot minute. What are we to do with your body when you die? Surely you would want it to be treated with dignity, with respect and care, not discarded like rubbish after it's been used of all of its physical resources. When we think of human remains, are we thinking about other people, other bodies, other lives? I'm sure that if we were to bring it closer to home, we would give it better thought. Perhaps fear prevents us. And because of this fear, we are then desiring to not think about whether we are living properly or whether we are doing enough with our lives. Death gives us that gift. It gives us the gift to actually look back on our lives and decide whether we are living with intention. I want people to live. I want people to realize that they are alive and that they are here for a purpose, here for a reason. So I'm going to ask you again, what are we to do with your bodies when you lay your body aside? Everybody observing this conference today is alive and will continue to be so until we die. What will we do with your body when you die? Are you happy with the way that funerals are conducted? Is there a specific way that you want to be remembered? Are there ways that you want us to bury you, or would you rather we scatter your ashes? How might you dispose of the bodies of those you love? Your children, perhaps, if they lay their bodies aside before you. And how do you feel about the questions that I am asking? Are you filled with dread at my being so personal? Is there a pain in your gut? Don't worry, you're not about to die, but you have time to think about your death and what we will do with your remains when you die. My book, My Life's Tapestry, is designed to be completed by every living person. It allows everybody to tell the story of their life, their bloodline, and how they would like to experience their death transition. Most people would like to die at home, but they do not get that opportunity in the West because we do not plan ahead. The book allows us to give our family members the opportunity to speak on our behalf. Do you want to be force-fed? Do you want to be resuscitated? Do you want to donate your organs? This is a gift to our descendants, because instead of missing you and worrying about you and whether they lived right by you and did right by you, they will have that peace of mind because you wrote it down. The book allows our children to know who you are. So in that way, we never die. Sankofa, they can go back and get it. Okay, now I'm coming to the end of what we're saying here, and it's been a privilege to speak to you. But I just want you to let you know that we have 14 trained grief practitioners in the UK. This is the only set of people who are culturally aligned with training to deliver services of grief to our loved ones, our family and our friends, our brothers and sisters. In 2027, I'll be meeting you all in person at the first annual Pan-African Deathways Conference, titled Remembering Our Own Deathways, Uniting Through Rituals of the Motherland. That's May the 25th to the 28th in 2027. I'll be with you personally. You can find my books on Amazon, and you can get in contact with me, Laura D Pusey, on Google. Finally, I want to say thank you to Bulelwa and Nklankla for this opportunity. To my sister Bulelwa, I want to say you are worthy. You were chosen by the ancestors of your bloodline to come to earth as a woman and lead. You are ordained, and this is why you are in your element within this space. Continue to move forward. In Jamaica, we have a saying, who God bless, no man curse. Once again, I want to say, Sankofa, let's go back, remember who we are, and bring it forward and make positive change. Thank you.
Oh, Laura, thank you so much. I'd like to reflect on grief. And then again, I'd like to give my boss the assurance that these are not the only things I consider when I talk about what I'm going to talk about. I also look at how can I give my boss an article. So don't worry. Laura, when we talk about grief, I've learned that in our communities, there's a reason why we've got a week whereby the deceased is kept by Oraisibe and the family is planning. I've learned over the years that that week is supposed to prepare you for the worst, because the week of the burial is not the worst. The worst is just after the burial. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Oftentimes,
Yes.
I would say, I'm not crying
And
for the people, I'm crying
after
for
the burial,
happening.
you are thinking, are they gone? Did I leave them in that hole? Really? What is it for a long time? And you talk to people who really don't, who are not crazy as you are, they say, get over it. But the soul says, no, I am grieving, I need attention. That is why we talk about grief. Grief counseling is very, very important because it's difficult to handle it. Even with animals, you would see the elephant, when one elephant dies, they grieve. But as humans, we are told that get over it, pray, it's going to be fine. No, yes, they were sick. Yes, they were going to die, but you are happy. Can someone listen? I will get over it. The soul will transcend. But you know, the fast life of today, we don't even allow the soul to speak. The soul doesn't transcend. You go out there, you show people that you're over it, you're okay, and whereas you're not okay. Mm-hmm. You go back to your private space and the soul says, I'm not fine. Please pay attention to me. That is why when other people are grieving, they hide themselves completely because the world simply doesn't understand. So if you've got grief counselors, it's very, very important. And yes, even the kids that are in the orphanages, they have a level of grief because they have a faint idea of what a mother could have been. They are grieving somebody they don't know, but let's allow them to grieve. Mm-hmm. Even with husbands that have lost their loved ones. Mm-hmm. Somehow they must be strong. They are human beings, they need to grieve. When with us, we because we wear black clothes, eh? You walk around with black clothes for 6 months, but if you're lucky for 3 months, then you can start seeing someone else. But generally, culturally, it's 6 months into a year. So that is what we do. But I wasn't chosen for that space, Laura. So I'm safe. I'm safe.
Okay.
Whoever I feel like grieving for when I feel like. And when you accept grieving, you learn to regulate yourself to say, okay, I've gone through this yesterday, but today it's okay, Bulela, you are grieving, but you've got to stand up, you've got to move. You've got to do things. It's okay when you prompt yourself, but when they say get over it, that is when you get down into the mud, because you must be okay. Thank you so much, my sister. I honor you, hey? We
You're
will
welcome.
chat
Thank you.
after when we're
Definitely.
done. Thank you so much. Guys, let's give a round of applause again and the other lady that has spoken. So, our second last speaker, generally, I hope she's touched. I hope she's going to tell the soldiers that we are trying something in UJ, we're trying something in the School of Economics, we're trying something in local economic development. I hope you will remember that when you're doing something, you should call us and we can do stuff for you. Comrade, the floor is yours. Comrade, I've saved your profile. My phone is everywhere. Please forgive me. I'm asking for an apology in advance. Can you please introduce yourself? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Homotso Mokgorosi. I'm the founder of Cosmo Funerals, based in Cosmo City. I'd like to say thank you so much, Bulelwa. I remember the first day I spoke to you and I addressed you as Prof. Bulelwa. She says, no, please call me Bulelwa. So, but we do appreciate, and I mean, you've worked hard to be the prof and you deserve to be called prof. That's a very hard work. And thank you, Nhlanhla, for recognizing me and making sure that I will be one of the speakers of this such a magnitude event. My colleagues, thank you so much, and I'm honored to be around the legends of the industry. They spoke. I'm not going to repeat anything. And the good thing about being the last speaker is, you know, you're going to be so short because everything else has been said. Or you're going to take advantage of talking about yourself instead. You know, that's the good thing about it. Yeah. I'm also a rural girl. I'm also a rural girl from the rurals. And we are in Gauteng. It's still there for us. I think Gauteng kids don't see the Gauta that we see. Yeah. You know, but yeah, it's there. But, you know, I started my business at the age of 29 years. And that time, it's because of I was fired from my previous work. So when I started working, I started working as a consultant at the gym. I worked at a company, the insurance company, one of the biggest insurance companies in South Africa, as a financial advisor. And my experience grew from that insurance company because as a financial advisor, you're selling the policies, funerals, and investments and long-term life insurances. And later on, I moved into beauty as a district sales manager, but because of I was the only black sheep in the crawl, then the treatment was not so fine until I was eventually pushed out of my work. And I thought to myself, there was this other day on a Sunday, I picked up on a newspaper before the TikToks, I picked up on the newspaper and the title, it was entrepreneurship. I started going through this paper and I thought to myself, I mean, all the companies that I've worked for, I'm always fighting with my bosses, and now this title is telling me, when you're an entrepreneur, a born entrepreneur, you'll fight with your bosses. You don't want to be told what to do. You want to do as you please at work. And I was like, no, this is me. And then now I was fired I'm unemployed. It's 2 days unemployment. And I'm reading this article. It means I cannot go and work anymore. And on Monday, I had an interview at JSE. Then on my way to the interview, I received a call from the ex-schoolmate of mine saying, hey, KG, I heard you are now in the space of the insurance. I want to open an insurance company. Can you come through? I made a U-turn. I said, where do we meet? Because me going to work, really this thing is going on in my mind that no, you're an entrepreneur. You're not an employee. Then I turned back and met this friend of mine. Then he said, no, let's do this. Then we started going around and looking for clients. And the first kind of stop that I stopped is like, undertakers, they need this insurance that we need to cover their clients. And I started going into undertakers. And this other day, I went into this undertaker and the guy said to me, you are so good in this. Why don't you do it yourself? And I'm like thinking, compliance in South Africa, there's FSB, that time it was FSB. They will need the license and I need all this compliance. Sure, this is gonna be difficult for me. I can't do it. And later when I got home, I started taking all these pamphlets and put them around the table in my office. I had an office at home and I put it together. I started drawing my pamphlet out of all these pamphlets, not knowing what I'm the consultant here. I want to do underwriting. And now this guy calls me tomorrow and says, Khomotso, we're meeting. No, you know what? I'm so busy. I'm very busy. I can't meet you. That time I'm building my pamphlet. And I went and printed all this pamphlet, about 10 of them. Then I went on the street. I started saying, I've got a funeral parlor. Now I notice in Cosmo City, there's no funeral parlor. And I meet these ladies, 5 of them. They're like, no, I don't want the funeral undertaker. Cosmo City. We don't want this thing. So I'm like, now I did not go to interview. Now I told my friend that I'm very busy. I can't see him. Where to now? Hey, then one person said yes to me, but not really. Because I left the pamphlet, I received a call. Remember the pamphlet's got my number now. I received a call, said, and now my mortuary is called Cosmo Funerals. But I don't have an undertaker, no registered company, nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, mama, sinomntwana we 1 month ushonele endlini. Like, sitopo. And then I go back to this undertaker. Then I ran to the nearest undertaker, which was a deep sleuth from Cosmos to Deep Sleuth. Like, I've got a baby that is dead in the house. I don't have a car to pick up that body. I don't have a stretcher. I don't know the fridge. Where am I gonna put? Hey, how am I gonna go to the Home Affairs? I don't know anything. So I was forcefully introduced to the industry. Then this guy helped me. Before I knew it, 3 days later, somebody picked up my pamphlet again. They said, Ubaba ushonile. I was like, it's cool. No worries. And now I asked the guys, okay, please help me guys. Now, that funeral paid me 35,000 rand, my first funeral. And I'm like, I've been working for this money for 2 full months, 60 days. I get it in 1 minute. I am going into this business. It was the excitement of money. But then I realized after that, you know what? This is in me. And when I went back, I said, the way I lost my parent at the age of 19 when I was still at school. I had to drop out because there was no money, there were no parents anymore. I had to start working and raising my siblings. And I said to myself, the way my parents were buried, I wouldn't want anyone to go through the same experience that I've been through with the burial of my parents. I started taking it very personal. Till to date, it is personal. Then Cosmo Funeral was born just like that. And I started doing the registration, the compliance. I comply now. I do funerals international. You want to take a body to UK? I'm here. Pakistan, Nigeria, everywhere.
Yes.
So the compliances, hashasha. And I saw that there is a gap as an entrepreneur. When you get the explanation of an entrepreneur, is the entrepreneur solves the problem. So I was solving the problem of the funeral undertaker that was not there. So today we're talking Cosmo Funeral. It's the biggest funeral undertaker in Cosmo City. Yeah? And I was proud to contribute in the township economy. You know, now I'm alleviating poverty by creating jobs in the township. And, you know, when people, they start coming and asking, because when my parents died, we were 7 at home and we became somebody's, responsibility, you know. So this woman was taking care of us, food and clothes. And I thought, because now I made it in life, let me give back as well. So I then opened a foundation that is called Homotso Foundation. I've got now 88 children that we're taking care of, orphanage and vulnerable children that we take care of. Thank you. So I now become, you know, the counselor for the grieving families. I become the mother of all these children. I become the attorney, you know, a counselor, we become the attorneys. Yeah. We advise, no, let's do letter of executorship. No, the house will go there and there, you know. So we become that. And when I started my business, there was no funding. And all businesses besides funeral business, we don't get funded. So we are self-funded. And we do have tenders, proper tenders. There's corruption. We don't get them. They always go to one person. Yeah. Indigent burials, they all go to one people. Unless you are lucky. Like these days, I'm getting lucky. I'm getting something. No corruption. Yeah, unless you're lucky, you get such. And so the industry, sometimes I'll talk about the challenges. The challenges is you find people who are very traditional, like the Zulu tradition. I remember one day, Prof. Bulelo has said, as a woman, you go out 2 a.m., go and pick up the body. It happens. Our drivers, they don't take drugs. We've got nothing to forget about the dead bodies. But they drink alcohol. So that time it's weekend, they are drunk. I'm not gonna give a drunkard my car because they're gonna be involved in an accident. Anything can happen. So as the owner, I have to wake up and go and fetch that body. I arrived there, and these guys are Zulus, like from Emakai. They like, umfazi, uzobamba ubaba, anyeke. And so it's those challenges where you lose business because of you are a woman. You're not being seen to take care of the deceased. You can't. And sometimes you find that you're so small and you find the families, big people, you like, yeah, we want your boss. And at that time, I've got no one to call. I'm like, yo, I'm the boss. But who do I call? You know, I just have to say, no, say, my boss is in Zimbabwe. We can send him an email. Then he will answer immediately. I'm just the manager here. You know, because like guys, they degrade us. They don't respect us. They take us for nothing as women in business. And we are doing so much better, twice as much. Yes, it is a male-dominated industry, but women, we are doing the best in this industry. And I happen to be the chairperson of the National Federation in the Funeral Industry. Hey, I sit in the board of 17 men. I'm the only female there. And you find you're like, what is happening here? And I remember the other day we went to this other insurance company and they asking, so how do you feel around all this men? I don't even feel like they are males. They're just my colleagues. And at the end of the day, I have to lead them. So it's normal. I think General, when she comes here, she will tell you, it's normal, huh? It's normal. Yeah, no, it's normal. And through this business, I'm very thankful because I've achieved a lot and that I never thought I'll achieve. I spoke to stages that I never thought I'll speak on because of the funeral industry. I spoke to on international radios and international TVs to speak about the death care. Here I am today speaking on the stage of UJ because of the death care industry. My dream, in closing, my dream is to be remembered as Usiswa Semochari. You know, when and to be the tycoon of Cosmos City. So I'd like to encourage the young ones, and I'm glad that they are here. It is not over until it's over. Yeah. Tomorrow you're gonna graduate and you won't find a job. I'm a dropout, and today I'm one of the multimillionaires. From zero to hero. It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you're gonna end. It was not your problem to be born poor, but it's your decision to make that you are going to die poor or rich. And I choose to die a tycoon. I thank you.
Okay. Ah. You know, as different as we are as women, it's nice when we respect each other in our diversity. You see, you are a lady. Hey, struggle. Being a lady is very, very hard for me. But here we are, we connect so nicely. You're wearing your nice shoes, stilettos. I can't wear stilettos. I love you nonetheless, and I'm sure the feeling is mutual. So why should we undermine each other's ladies? And why should we be worried when a lady says, I am a tycoon? Why should I be bothered? I chose academia. I spend sleepless nights. She spends sleepless nights with cadavers. And she's a tycoon. And we leave it at that. We salute you. And thank you so much. We've got the chairman of the circle, but please allow me to be a bit rude. I believe in sticking to the plan. I would like to welcome my boss from the South African Defence Force, my senior. I hope you won't be long. People are a bit hungry. Please come through. This is Major General Mkhize. She did not tell me what she wants to talk about. I invited her to come and see what we do and what I do when I'm not in their space. So my senior, the space is yours. I was told that because you're in uniform, you should salute me. Because I'm not in uniform, I'm not the one who's supposed to salute. So I will.
Good afternoon, everyone. In the military, we're people of protocol. So in fear of breaking protocols here, so I'll stick to ladies and gentlemen. I did not want to come and speak up here in front. I was just saying I want to talk to her later on. But when she then stood up here, Ubuli, and said, I want to talk, then I'm not a coward. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a general. And thank you very much for the invitation. You know, we experience our men and women dying on contact. And I'm sure the wonderful women up here and all the other business owners of the funeral parlors, they experience 3 times the trauma that we experience. And we are grateful to have you. And mine was just to say, we thank you once more. And especially for holding this space for us when we have to come and conduct the funerals, because I'm responsible for the ceremonial of the Defense Force, including the state funerals that you normally watch on TV. I am responsible for those as well. And also holding the space for the loved one, especially when we have to deal with this. We are not really trained in that space. Ours is to do what you know we do best to protect our country. One would say that there's nothing that as soldiers we fear. And death, rightfully so, all of us are on the way there. And there's no escape on that. But I like that which says we therefore have maybe an honor to choose how the end of it is done. And I'm thankful for being part of this presentation. This is not a topic that is often spoken of. And I will take up with you, Bully, so that we can have a discussion on this. It is intense for me. I've never sat in a discussion like this. And I thank you very much for this one. And I'm a respecter of time. So thank you very much.
My senior, when I joined the army, first week, we were the pool of specialists. Some Kenyan, I won't give you his name. He called me on the side on the 3rd day. He said, this is not academic space. You don't have freedom of speech. You wait. You don't just say anything. So I will respect you. I won't talk too much, but we are honored to have you here. Thank you so much. We are almost done now, and thank you very much, guys, for honoring us. And in closing, I would like to say I did not expect this attendance, and online also. We'd like to thank you guys. Theodora said, I think end of yesterday we had more than 120 registrations, which is good. And there is so much we can write about. We've got someone who's writing about the event. Prof, who's gonna. Yes, Prof, I'm gonna give you a chance. Yes, we've got someone who's going to put this in the media. I don't know how she's gonna do it, but you are allowed. You're welcome. I nearly made a mistake because I'm in my element. I forget, and please forgive me for coming across as being disrespectful. The director of the School of Economics has to say 1 or 2 words. It would be disrespectful of me if he's here and I don't give him a chance. Please forgive me, Prof. Eta. Please, 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 please. You are here, Prof. Please. And then after that, Mr. Bembe, the chairman is going to close for us. This is our space. Now we give you just not too much, just. So you can come through, my dear.
Thank you very much. It is actually, I'm excited to see this venue very, very much full. And it actually is an indication that this area of local economic development is very, very important. Yes, I'm an economist, but I didn't know much about this area of local economic development. When we started talking with Prof. Mapela, I was saying dead bodies. They say, we say human remains. And through our work, our interaction, I now understand that this is a very, very important area of local economic development, and is an area that we are promoting. And I must say that at the University of Johannesburg, what we do in terms of our teaching and research, yes, we care about our reputation as a University of Johannesburg, which is reflected through our ranking, but we don't live for ranking. We want to make societal impact. And when I listened to all the presentations that were delivered here, there are challenges facing the businesses in the funeral parlor industry. And I think our research, if we can do the research that is able to address the challenges and provide solutions to this very important industry, it means that we have made societal impact. And I think when I was listening to some of the presentation, and remember, this is a Women's Month. And the School of Economics here at the University of Johannesburg has serious women scholars. And you can see Professor Mapela, we have very serious scholars, women who have really made an impact in the scholarly industry. So, in honor of women, what we do in the School of Economics, we have seminars and workshops every week. And for this month of August, you know, what we have in the School of Economics, we have a chair of seminars. But for this month, all the seminars, workshops are delivered by women. They are chaired by women, because we really want to bring out what we have as the School of Economics, University of Johannesburg. And if we can if our research can provide solutions so that when you go there 2 a.m. to pick up, let's say, a body, or there's a problem, and then they say, I listen to you and I think I have to put it in your own word. Which is like a woman. So if we can provide solutions so that those challenges are taken care of, then it means that we have made societal impact. And which is actually what we stand for as the University of Johannesburg. And Professor Mapela, I really would like to thank you for organizing this event. For actually, this is an indication that this is an important area of local economic development. We train people, masters up to the degree of the highest order, PhD. And because it's a Women's Month, I want to say we launch a PhD in local economic development. And the first graduate, which we produced this year, is a woman. Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Mapela. Thank you to all the participants. I know that I'm not the one closing, but I just want to show appreciation, and we're looking forward to developing this important area of local economic development. So, thank you.
Prof, before you leave, Prof, we understand it's August, but we know our role as women. We respect men. So when there is a man, there's a head. So may you please bless my speakers with presence. This is how they go, Prof.
Thank you.
Because you are the man. This is how they go, like this.
Okay.
Like this. My senior in arms,
Yes.
sister in arms, please come forth. So, Prof, you're gonna bless them, whatever you're gonna say. I don't know what you want to say.
Okay.
We go like this. They're fun, eh?
Okay. To all of you, this is a token of appreciation from the School of Economics, University of Johannesburg. We're proud and happy of what you are doing. Not only because what you are doing as business women, as our mothers, okay? And really thank you for taking time from your busy schedule. I'm sure your phones are ringing to say that there is a problem, but you decided to come here and really grace this occasion with us. Okay, now I am going to do what I have been asked to do. Okay, okay, I'll start with you, and then I'll end with the general. I'll end with a salute. Okay. Let me put this one down now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I have been told by Prof. Matela that I need to respect protocol. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my senior.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You may be seated. So in closing, we're going to ask Mr. Bembe to come and close for us. And I'd like to thank my boys. They know themselves. Whenever the head is not, whenever in Tambo, the what do you call in Tambo in English? Ingatinti paraffin, when it doesn't touch the paraffin, the strain doesn't touch the paraffin, they bring sanity. They are here. I won't mention them. I'm still expecting a lot from them. I'm sure they can see that I can be all over the place. The reason why I am all over the place now and again is because I'm faced with such women, and there are also men that sometimes I have to face alone. But yeah, we'll get there. And Mr. Bembe, please come and close for us. Food is ready. We would like to have a few words with you, a few of you, because we want to kick off the underwriting issue. We just have some questions to find out as to what is actually going on. But that's how I call you.
Yes, yes.
There you go.
The floor is yours.
Good afternoon. What am I going to say now? It's not on my speech. General, we've got skilled undertakers here, very, very much skilled. So please consider us. We know you've got a lot of job for us. We've seen on TV. So please consider us. We've got lots of women undertakers. You know, we've got a lady, very old lady. Her name is Linky. So she's the one that also taught me this business. So she runs a undertaker called Linky and Daughters. They are the daughters. Please stand up. That's the lady that taught me. And then we also have Koke Tomatobako, daughter to Sbongile. Koki, I hope you will join us in the funeral industry. You won't run away. Thank you. Let me get back to my speech now. Oh, before I go, I want to thank my soldiers here. These three beautiful women here. That other one, Mbinchiam, you know, and she's a leader of United Task Team. The other one, Siswam, she's a leader of a federation called African Funeral Federation. And then Margaret Thatcher. That's what that I call her Iron Lady. She's the Iron Lady of Sako. So, Nyabonga, every time you guys, when I call you, you come. Thank you very much. Okay, it's really a slow win. My heartfelt gratitude to the University of Johannesburg for recognizing and celebrating the invaluable contribution of women in the funeral industry. To the remarkable women who have dedicated their life to the noble profession, I extend my deepest appreciation. Your tireless effort, compassion, and commitment to serving families in their most vulnerable moments have not gone unnoticed. Today, we honor you, your dedication and profound impact you've made. And to the funeral industry, thank you for embracing this initiative, for attending. Your presence here today is a testament to the importance of acknowledging the often unsung heroes in our midst, the women in the funeral industry. All of you, Sis Kabo, Mam Stai. Mam Stai is one of the women that also taught me this business. Thank you, Mama. Thank you very much. Thank you.